Hello, welcome to my home. My name is Lisa, and this is Lisa Abby's Needleworks, where I talk about cross stitch and pretty much anything else that comes up. I hope everybody's having a good day. Today is May 6th, 2020, and we're in the midst of maynia. I hope everybody's having a good time with maynia. Whether you're participating or just observing, I hope you're having a good time. There is a lot of stitching going on around the world, and we're happy about that. I don't have any finishes, just a lot of starts. And yeah, it's been a pretty crazy time. I went back to work. I don't know if you're new to the channel. I was off work for 8 weeks taking care of my mother, which was a real blessing. I was very thankful the way how everything turned out. She was able to be here at the end, and everything, God just really worked it all out. But I had to go back to work. I work in a restaurant, and I work in the carryout department. So needless to say, I don't think there was really one thing that was constant from when I was back there before. Everything is different, but that's okay. There was a lot of new things, a lot of different things. I mean, even on a slow day where we might have made like maybe, I don't know, 50 tossed salads to last a day. On a slow day, they made 350, and they had some from the day before. So, I mean, it's just crazy the amount of food that's going out the door, but I'm very thankful that that we have a job and that everybody loves our food. So, but anyway, I was able to get my starts going every night. And I tried to do a little bit before I went to work in the morning. But yeah, no finishes, but that's okay. I did get a piece of happy mail that I wanted to share with you. I have a sweet subscriber who has kind of become my pen pal a little bit. Haven't talked to her as much as I'd like lately just because of all the craziness and the busyness, but she sent me a little stitched piece that says love, and she gave me some little backing fabric to finish it off however I felt inclined to do it. So I'm hoping to work on that today. So sweet. So Sandy, thank you so much. She was interested in some freebies, but I don't have a computer and I don't have a printer. So I've got to figure out a way to get her some free patterns. Okay, so I did want to kind of highlight, I was going to change out my quilt behind me because it had bunnies and things like that, and I'm kind of gearing towards doing some more summer type things and maybe a little bit of patriotic. And I remembered my mom had made this quilt, and I knew it had blues and stuff in it, so I thought I went on the hunt to try to find it. It had been on her wall beside her bed for the longest time, and we had just taken it down before she had her stroke and had hung up some other one of her quilts up there just for something different. So I knew it had to be somewhere, but anyway, I finally found it. I'll try to get you a little, try to get you a little closer so you can see it. I'm not familiar with what pattern it was or anything, but it's all hand quilted, and it was a joy to put out. And then I found this little drying rack at the quilt shop, at the thrift store, and so I hung up another one of her quilts. I don't know if you'll be able to see it very well, but it's another one that's just a little wall hanging, and it's hand quilted. So that brought me joy the other day when I was putting it up. It was kind of a funny story though. I didn't wash it, and my mom had cats And so I was trying to hang it by this little, I have this little anchor thing. My words are not coming to me, so I'm sorry. A little oar anchor. Good night. So anyway, I have these little nails on the oar, and then I have just little shower clip type of deals that I just hang quilts by. So anyway, so of course I was too lazy to get my ladder out, and I'm trying to get behind the television here just for those last two, you know, on the corner. So anyway, I am like right up close to this quilt, and I hadn't thought about all of that. There's probably like a lot of cat dander in there because it was hanging up there for a long time. I just barely got the quilt hung up, and I started having an asthma attack. I'm like, ooh, yeah, it's getting harder to breathe. Oh boy. Anyway, it all worked out fine, but the moral to the story is before you get up close and personal with the quilt, make sure, you know, it doesn't have a lot of cat stuff on it. I probably should start over because I am just babbling and not saying the right words, but we're just going to keep going because that's what we do. All right, so Stitch Mania started, and now I'm going to start coughing. Just a second. Okay, drink a Dr. Pepper, we're all set. So my idea, it's not my idea for Mania, but I don't know who to give credit to, but my plan for Mania, which if you're not familiar with Mania, it's craziness in May where you start a new project every day in the month of May. Sometimes you do 20 for the year, whatever. So I was in it last year, and I decided that if I still had a project as a whip from last year, I was going to work on it the same day that I did last year. And on the day that I had a finish from last year, I was going to start something new. So that's what I've been doing. So let's just hop in here and get going. The first one is Summer at Cherry Hill, a Brenda Gervais pattern. And let's see. So last time, well, let's see. Basically, all I was able to do this time was do the T through the Z in the alphabet. I did that the first night, Friday night. And then Sunday, Larry and I went on a little bit of a ride in the truck, and I had to fill in the pomegranates. So I thought, well, that would be a good thing to do. Plus, it's a real big count, and I wasn't going to have to be trying to find these little tiny holes while this truck is bouncing around. So I was able to get a little bit done on that on a couple different days. Saturday was Spell of the Moon by Blackbird Design. And so this is my start from here. It's funny, I started off with a little bit of the gray border, and I thought I was in the right color, but I wasn't. But anyway, this is how my version's going to be. I think it was supposed to be in black, but in the picture it looked a little bit lighter, and so I just went with my thought. So anyway, so then I got down a little bit to where the leaf of the tree starts, and then just for fun I wanted to see how the moon color was going to show up, so I started a little bit of the moon. But overall I'm happy with how it's coming along. Just a piece of mystery linen, so I'm not really sure. I think it's a 32 count, but that's about all I know about it. So that was day 2. Day 3 was on Saturday. Sunday. I don't know if I should drive today. I'm a little bit of a dingbat today. All right, so Sunday on my day off was Noel Sampler. And I decided to go with the called for colors this time, which if you've been to my channel before, you know I basically do the same idea of colors as in the chart, but not the exact number. I usually just grab whatever I have, but this time I thought, no, I'm going to be good, and I'm going to use the called for colors, mainly because I was picking out all these colors at Joann's and I was getting tired. So I'm just like, don't reinvent the wheel. Just go with with old Brenda, because she does wonderful. So let me see. So the first day on Sunday, I started with the red in the border, and I was watching Brenda and Laura and Carol on their Flosstube channel and cooking with gas and just going to town, and completely overlooked the fact that there was some, oh boy, some extra little doodads here in the border. And I don't even know. I didn't even investigate it to see if I could just add those in or whatever. I just realized when I was already, you know, down to about here that I had missed a bunch of doodads and thought I don't need a doodad. So anyway, so I got to the bottom and then we moved over. I think then that was just on Sunday. And then Monday morning, I decided to pull this one out again, and I worked towards going this direction. And then I think I even worked on it another evening, and I finished this. So this is to the edge of this border. So that's how big it's going to be on the bottom. And then the other day I started off with the vine going across the top. But overall, I'm really enjoying this one. I like the fact that, you know, once you kind of get the repetition of the pattern, you can just kind of go with it, and you don't have to do a ton of counting and a ton of thinking, because my brain has been on overload with the thinking department, and I just need a break from that. So anyhow, although after I missed the few little doodad things, I have been checking myself and double checking myself and triple checking myself. So I don't know, maybe I am still thinking a lot. I don't know. Okay, so that was Sunday with a couple times thrown in also. And then Monday night, I started a Plum Street Home for Christmas. And this one I started up at the top. And I was able to get that much done. And I think that's, I don't know that that's any specific number. Maybe it is. Maybe that's how big it is. I'm not sure. But mainly I just worked on the stars. And I wanted to throw in some of the red color, but I'm not sure about my red. So anyway, but that one was getting kind of monotonous, so I kind of stopped with that one. And then last night, it was crazy. So usually Tuesdays are my 9 to 8 day, but on the time that I was off, Madison, one of the girls, has been opening, so that was a blessing. So I didn't have to work 9 to 8, but I had to work 11 to 8. And so far, since I've been back, that was the only day that I had to stay till 8. Normally they send people home, but which is a good thing they didn't send me home, because I need to at least figure out whether I can stand on my knees that long. And I made it to my car. But anyway, so when I got home, I hurried and I took my shower, and I grabbed my cupcake that I planned on having for dinner and a bottle of Dr. Pepper. And I got all my cross stitch, and I got my phone, and I got everything right there on the couch before I sat down, because I knew once I sat down, that was probably going to be it. Oh, yesterday was my anniversary, and it was a good day. Larry and I have been married 17 years, and but he was out of town, so it was just me and the dogs hanging out. So, well, once I got sat down and calmed down a little bit, I was able to start yesterday's start. And so in honor of our anniversary, I did Peace, Love, and Purpose. Peace, Love, and Purpose. Yeah, by Plum Street. Because basically this was one of the only starts that had the word love in it. So, and it has cute little people and quilt blocks and a flag. I mean, hello. Good stuff. So my plan was, I think this is maybe like a 28 count Lugana, something like that. And my plan was to do it over 2. But then when I saw how big those stitches were going to be, I'm just like, oh. So I thought, well, maybe I should go find some other fabric. But I liked this fabric. So what did I decide to do, people? I decided to go over 1. Anyway. But it's super cute. Look at those tiny little stitches. So I decided to outline the house. And hopefully it's going to show up enough. I kept looking at the picture. Now these are called 4 colors again, which is a stretch for me. And especially for like this one that I did on Sunday. I mean, that green. What is that green? It is not my favorite green. Now in the whole bundle, I thought it was beautiful, but it was totally not my green. So now in this one, when I worked on the house, I looked at the picture, and I mean, you can barely see the difference between the outline of the house and the fabric. I mean, it's very close. So I think once I get the stuff inside the house, there's like some quilt blocks and things like that with some interest. So I think once I get that in there, it'll show up a little bit better. But I'm actually enjoying the little stitches. Now, hopefully I'll feel like that, you know, when I'm 3/4 of the way through it. But the colors are so pretty. So we'll see. I was mainly just too lazy to go try to find other fabric. I thought, oh, you can do over 1. Quit being a sissy. So that's what I did. So that pretty much sums up my stitching. I have to start winter peacocks today, which I talked about last video. It's like a little stitching bag. And I have to come up with my colors. I have some ideas in here, but I need to just bite the bullet and pick some colors. It's not like it's my only cross-stitch project I will ever make, right? Just get her done, and if you don't like it, do it again or pull it out. So, okay, that won't go back in the bag. Anyway, so I hope everybody's having a good week. We did work outside in the yard a little bit on Sunday. Cut the grass, got that done. Larry did the weed whacking while I did some of the mowing. We have a push mower, so, and an uneven yard, so my knees were not happy, but what are you gonna do? I'd be interested to know if any of you have a long arm business or have any contacts with a long arm business. I am really kind of contemplating the future of my life. I don't know that I can handle the job that I do now. It's basically just running for 8.5 hours on tile and concrete, and it's just pretty much the nonstop filling orders. And I supervise the carry out, but since my absence, there's a lot of people who have stepped up and are kind of doing the supervising thing, and I'm not aware of how it all works yet. I'm getting a better understanding of it, but they've all had to do everything a different way because of this. And since our restaurant's not open, we have a lot of room to play with that once all the waitresses and stuff get back in there. So anyway, I don't know what will stay the same and what will change and what'll go back to the old way. I doubt hardly anything will go back to the old way. So, but I don't know. I mean, is anyone else in that boat where you're just trying to think of, you know, what do you want to do when you grow up? I mean, I'm 50 and I figure if I want to take a chance on doing some other kind of occupation, I'm starting to run out of years here. So, and I've often thought, oh, it would be fun to do quilting in my home. And I have a handy quilter. And so I can do some projects. I just can't do really large projects. But I just don't know if that would be the way I should go. That's a big investment. That's a big purchase. Anyway, so I've just been mulling that around in my mind, or deciding, you know, do I want to just do something different? They've been real good at the restaurant and offered me a job as far as like I could start answering phones or whatever. That doesn't sound like fun. I don't like being on the phone anyway, unless it's my smartphone playing around on YouTube. So I can't imagine answering calls and taking orders all day. So I didn't get real excited about that opportunity, but I don't know. Anybody else contemplating major big decisions? I don't know. I've started getting worked up about it, and then I realized, you know what? God worked everything out with my mom, and that was really the first time I think in my life I've ever been in that kind of a situation that was completely out of my control, and I felt like I had to be at the helm. I mean, when my dad had cancer, I felt like things were out of control, but my mom was at the helm, and I was there to help her. Where when it was my mom and there wasn't my dad, and thankfully my brother was there, but anyway, boy, this is just becoming off cross stitch, isn't it? We're going off on a tangent. But anyway, I don't know. The Lord really worked it out, and that was probably the only time in my life I've really had to focus on Him, because there was no way I could fix it myself. So, and I think that's where we're supposed to be anyway, not just when we get forced to a spot where we can't do it ourselves. So I just been praying about it and thinking about it. So who knows? I mean, I guess I could just go get my knees done, and then maybe I could continue to do the job, right? That's what my husband says. Just go get my knees done. Okay, people. I don't know. I might watch this and redo it. We'll see. But I hope everybody has a great week. If you're doing Stitch Mania, I'd be really excited to hear what your plans are, what you've been working on. If you have an Instagram, I can follow you. So leave a comment if you're so inclined. Let's see. I think that's pretty much it. Hopefully next week, maybe I'll have a finish or two, something. Maybe I can figure out what to do with the little love thing here. I know a pillow would be cute, but a little scissor fob would be really cute too. I've got a really cute pair of red scissors, so maybe that'll be the ticket. But I hope whatever you're doing, you're finding joy, and I thank you for joining me. And I hope you'll come back and see me again. And we'll see you later. Bye.